Thank you for joining us, everybody, to this podcast. Today, we are joined with Lisa Munoz. Lisa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You were Sabor's 2025 Lifetime Distinguished Service Award.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How excited was it to receive that award?
Very. I was shocked. And
no one told you?
No.
It was complete surprise?
No one told me. Mm-mm.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we think you were extremely deserving of that award.
Thank you.
And you have been in the industry for...
25 years.
25 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We think that with that amount of time, there is a level of advice and knowledge that we think our members want to know, right? So I wanted to get started with just where we started, your origin story, if you will.
My story. Okay.
What drew you to real estate way back when?
Way back in 2001, I moved back to San Antonio, and my background is finance and accounting, corporate finance. And so we moved to San Antonio, back where we grew up, and I graduated high school here and then went away to college. Bought a house, and my agent, Kim Howe, said, "Hey, are you going to go back into the accounting world?" And I said, "I'm thinking about it." She goes, "Well, why don't you get your license and be on my team?"
No way. Okay.
Yeah. And I said, "Okay." And so she happened to be with Keller Williams Heritage at the time, and so I was on her team. I didn't know anything about brokerages or anything, but got my license, and the rest is history. We're still very good friends. She left the company and went on her own, but anyway, we still remain very close, and I respect her highly.
What was it that you think she saw that said she needs to go into real estate?
Well, a couple of things. It's kind of funny. Her background is accounting as well.
Oh, okay.
We had a lot in common, and we both played tennis back in high school.
Okay.
We remembered kind of knowing each other then. So, and I think, she was awesome agent, awesome person, very, always put you first and was very interested in what you had to say. And, I reciprocated. And so we just hit it off.
Now you came back to San Antonio, you were considering going back into what you had studied for. What was it that where you're like, you know what, I'm going to try this? Like this is obviously a spark that happens in most real estate agents' careers. Mm-hmm. Not everyone starts in real estate. They're usually somewhere and then they leverage their skills. So what was it for you that, you know what, why not? Well,
my experience looking at the houses and negotiating and all that I've always liked real estate. I've moved all my life. My father was an Army officer and moved every 3 years of my life. So I always was involved in, seeing real estate and moving and all that. And so it real estate interested me. So I thought, she asked me, so I
say, why not?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long was it when you're like, this is it. I like this. This is what I'm going to commit to next. And did you think it was going to be 25 years?
I did not think it was going to be 25 years, but I'm glad it is.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple more, but I pretty much immediately, I had I had a good agent, a good mentor, and I just enjoyed it from the beginning.
If you could go back to that time and tell yourself, this is what you can look forward to, or this is what you're going to face. So what would you tell that agent then, that it's going to be the hard part of getting into this business?
I'd say buckle up, because you're going to be thrown a lot of different angles, and you'll make a lot of decisions, some good, some bad. You'll learn from your decisions, and that's the hardest part is going through and learning how to handle those different times. And
do you think it's the decisions on running your own business, learning how to market, or is it the decisions on, I should have attached that, what do we call it for the refrigerator?
Non-realty
item, a
little of that.
That's
yes.
A little bit of both.
A little of that. Yeah. And then, just a lot of working, trying to make sure you do the best you can for your client, and hoping that you do in the long run. So that's.
Do you think a lot of agents get into the business thinking, oh, this is going to be easy?
Oh, absolutely.
And what do you think is the biggest shocker to them?
That is not easy.
That is not easy. But is it not easy because how much work it is, or because the entry, right? Like getting in, it takes time to build up your client base. Like, what do you think is the most difficult thing that most people overcome?
Building the client base, but also thinking that it's going to be a piece of cake. I had a new agent one time tell me, "What's so hard? You just show a couple of houses and write a contract. Easy." Well, that person lasted about 3 months.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know that it's kind of like having a baby. You have a first baby and you go, what do I do? It's kind of like, I have my license now. What do I do? And so that's where training and mentoring and everything comes into play. So,
how many mentors have you had over the period of 25 years?
Oh, probably like longtime mentors or just,
like, and so what I have also learned is that mentors are at different phases, right? You need a mentor in the beginning who can help you then, and then you're in the middle and you're like, you know what? I need a different kind of mentor now. So how many?
I'd say 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
And continuing. I mean, they just didn't, the first one didn't go away. I mean, they're, still helping in the second, third, and you remain close to them and you learn from each other still. They still can mentor you. I still have mentors, that help me with things. So
right. Yeah. Now, there are mentors who may have given you advice and maybe you didn't take it. And that was a good thing. So when did you decide, you know what, I'm going to follow my instincts on this one issue? Or I'm going to, what was an example of, I was told this is probably how I should do it, but I decided to go this route and actually that served me better?
I'm trying to think. Probably when I was told that, just don't spend that much time with your clients. It's, you've got other things to do. You're wasting your time. My mantra, I guess, is personal relationships. And I don't like to rush through. And with my clients, I want to make sure that they know I'm listening to them and I care. And I want to spend time with them and be very patient with them. And that was, a mentor told me like I was wasting my time doing that one time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like everyone has always said, no, I've never practiced real estate. I've been doing this for a little bit. So I've heard a lot of stories, but I mean, it's a relationship business, right? And so somebody was telling you, hey, don't worry too much about the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. And I said, no, I'm a very relational person. So, and I've got a client that I have a fiduciary to, and I want to make sure that I cover all bases and take the time to hear what they have to say and be patient with them.
When you got into real estate, you were transitioning from a finance career into something completely different. How important was it for you to not just focus on real estate, but also get involved in the community or get involved in other opportunities? Like, did you focus strictly on, hey, I need to do this, or did you see that it was important to stay universally involved in a bunch of things?
No, I thought it was important to stay universally involved in a bunch of things because I've always been a community and lots of interaction, lots of relationships. And so I felt like that went hand in hand with business. As I got into it, I could see where that was, important.
How do you convince newer agents that that's important and they're wasting their time? Like, how do you convince them, you know what, going and volunteering at the food bank is a good thing for your business?
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing for period. But
correct.
For business
yes.
too, because you do develop a lot of relationships when you go and work and help and give back to the community that's given to you as far as, your business and everything. And so I think they get it if they don't get it in the first place. And then some of them won't. But once you've done it and you see the results and the appreciation and how it helps you, and it feels good. You don't just do it just to go, okay, I got to do this because, I've got to do these 3 times a week. You do it because you want to.
It's not phone duty.
It's not phone duty.
You find something you like, right? Like whether it's the food bank, whether it's animal shelter, whatever your passion might be, finding something in there and it's helpful. And we stand in front of these new realtors, right? They're licensed. They get they come, they do their necessary requirements to become a realtor. And we talk to them about, and I've always heard chairs and other leaders in the association say, it's really important to get active in the board. And if it's not the board, then just getting active somewhere because that's important for your business. Does everyone take that advice, or do most people still think, no, I need to focus on my marketing and passing out cards and that kind of thing?
It's funny that you say that because I think a lot of the ones that last a long time and then become successful do think it's important to be involved in the board and other things. And the ones that don't think that's important and just focus everything on one thing, they're not really, long for the world usually.
But do we know why though? I mean, because every successful realtor like yourself has said that you need to get involved. And yet there's some like, nah, absolutely not. But do we know why they don't think that there's value in that? Have you ever had that conversation or just kind of extrapolated that?
I have. And sometimes they say that's just not me. I'm just not an outgoing person. And I said, well, you don't have to be outgoing. I mean, just go and, like you said, perfect example, food bank, animal shelter. If they just would try it, they would feel a difference. And a lot of them did, but some of them didn't. And they, usually didn't last very long in the business.
and I think it's important to find the one that is organic to you and not the one that you think, oh, this is where I can meet the most people.
That's right.
Even if it's, and I think it doesn't necessarily have to be volunteering. I feel like a running club, some other kind of social activity, but just getting involved in some other group is helpful.
Absolutely. That's right. Yeah. And, real estate is not like a law firm or accounting firm or an engineering firm. It's everybody has a different background and what their interests are. That's one of the things I enjoyed the most was finding out what other people's interests were. Like, oh my gosh, you redo Western guns or something like that. Yeah. There was one of our agents one time that's what he did for a hobby, and he showed me all. I thought I've never seen that before, and it was very interesting. So you get a lot of different people that are interested in a lot of different things.
The members that I have had long relationships with here at the board, I remember when I first started, they were just always asking me questions about myself. And I was like, I know what you're doing. Like, it's my turn. I got to ask you questions it's the good ones were always innate. Like, so tell me about yourself. What do you like to do? Right. Like they weren't necessarily like, oh, so you're a lawyer. What kind of law? It was, what do you do? How long have you been in San Antonio? Where'd you go to high school? Like it was, the list of things that we go down. Right.
Yeah.
So how do you think, when I think of the agents that when I first started and the agents that now, a lot of them are still there. But I'm assuming within 25 years, a lot of things have changed.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think has changed the most? And then we'll go into what do you think hasn't changed? So what do you think has changed the most since you started and compared to now?
Definitely technology. Definitely.
Yeah.
25 years ago, I'm trying to think. I think we barely had the MLS.
Was it still in the binder?
It wasn't. Not quite. It was just weaning off of that and getting into. It was. We had the computers and it was technical. But now you've come 25 years later. Now what is it? It's just AI.
Yeah.
And so people are having to learn that, and the ones that have been in business for a while are having to learn that, or else they're probably going to be getting out of the business.
Do you think you can be in real estate and not be fully invested in new technology?
You can if you have support, maybe some help with that, but not totally. You've got to know some of it. There's just, some of the stuff's so important, and some of the things you can't make it. What you were doing before, it's totally changed. You're going to have to learn it. Some of it. So,
because if we go back to what you said earlier, I mean, real estate is a relationship business, and real estate or the relationship isn't always based on technology. It's going to be on that, and I can see. I'm really good at talking to you one-on-one, but I'm going to hire somebody to help me manage my social media, my CRM, all that other stuff. Yeah. But it can happen, but then you need to do it. So aside from, it's staying a relationship business, what do you think has stayed the same over the last 25 years that hasn't changed and you don't think will change?
Aside from relationship?
Yeah, partner? I know. I kind of made that harder for me because I took that answer. I know. I thought about it after I asked.
Probably... regulations and rules, and there's a standards. I'm thinking standards. That's always, you have to still go by those, even though, there's a lot of agents that are just, different kind of personalities, and they're not, standards and rules they're not going to change. They'll change, but they're going to stay required to have standards and rules.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have contracts. I think now, at this point in time, the way we do commission is completely different, which I know everyone was having a really hard time with change.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to ask about change here in a second, because, I mean, when we were talking about, and we're taking compensation out of the MLS, it was pandemonium.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Oh, yeah.
But the reluctance was short-lived, and as soon as they pulled off the Band-Aid, everything just went to continue to work. Everyone adjusted.
That's right.
Do you think that an aversion to change has been a part of it, and how do you recommend to your agents or people you work with or mentor, hey, look, the change is going to be important, and we just need to learn how to go with it?
Yeah, and I tell them there's going to be change. They don't just change things, track of the board, just to change things. There's a reason. There's been issues or comments or something like that, and they say, okay, we need to look into this, and so there's going to be a reason for change. So you're going to have to learn it, and you're going to have to embrace it because it's coming.
Yeah,
as it is coming up again pretty soon. So the contract. So
Do you think that technology has affected the professionalism?
I think it has a lot. Mm-hmm.
In what way?
Just instant gratification, instant, here, I don't want to research this. I'm going to look this up and just say here, and not really owning maybe some social media you're putting out or some information because you're getting it off maybe GPT chat or AI, AI, that kind of thing. I think that's affecting.
What do you think is important to maintain professionalism as far as having a long, successful career?
Keeping up with the changes we just talked about, knowing the contracts, knowing the rules, standards, listening to your clients on what they want, having the ancillary businesses like title and lending, make sure that they, you don't try to expound on that and be an expert on that because you're not. Stay in your kitchen. You're a chef in the real estate kitchen. So that's kind of how I kind of explain it to them. You got to know make sure you're a master of your kitchen as you're a chef in.
Yeah.
Before you start talking about others that you're not even licensed in some things. So don't, keep in your lane.
You've maintained a level of passion for this, obviously, for, wanting to commit to doing this for 25 years. What is it that keeps you passionate about it?
Just enjoying it. I never have gotten up in 25 years and not wanted to, depending on a deal that might be going south or something like that. But for the most part, I never felt like I don't want to do this anymore. I had a passion for it. I knew that all my colleagues, I was very, very close relationship with all my clients, all my colleagues, and enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah. Excellent. If after we say thank you for your time, what is the one advice you hope that if our new realtors that are listening in the beginning of their career, middle career, what is the one advice you want to give them that you hope that they will take to heart?
Always seek to understand before you make any judgment. Always lend a hand, always be understanding, always be helpful and supportive. Yeah. Because it may come back to you another, and just keep in the business and learn all you can and then enjoy it.
Yeah. You described the best realtor right there. Lisa, congratulations so much on this award. Very well deserved.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much. And it's such an honor, and I appreciate it.
We look forward to bringing you back in, 25 more years if you're so inclined.
If I can make it.
And thank you for everything and that you've given us to share with the rest of the community.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for listening, and we look forward to you tuning in to the next episode.